Thailand.
Thailandia.
My name is Tyler.
You'd fit in so well in
I belong
Thailand.
there. That's my land.
You're Thai.
Oh, amazing. Welcome back, everybody, to another Thailand reaction. Today, Geography Now, Thailand.
Yes, we've done a few Thailand reactions, but we haven't done like a ton. This is a perfect one. It came out like a couple weeks ago from Geography Now. It's gonna be a good one, I'm sure. It's a nice 33-minute-er.
We haven't had a proper introduction video to Thailand.
No.
Usually Geography Now is our introduction.
Yeah, every country that he's made it to, we do Geography Now first. Thailand was too far. It's in the T's.
Come on, Thailand. Be higher in the alphabetical order. Ducky is happy. He wants mango rice.
Oh.
Mango rice?
There's not any here. Oh, it's got me so cracking on.
He's sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't be mad. Oh, they're happy. Anyways, hopefully you enjoy another geography reaction video because this is Trifing Geo. You can also check out our vlog channel where we will be traveling to Thailand pretty soon. We're in Asia right now, India, and we're creeping our way over to the Southeast Asia zone.
Demonstration of what we're doing at the moment. This is the far reaches of Asia. This is India.
Ooh, is that a plane?
It is a plane.
So go check that channel out. It's gonna be a lot of fun over there. A lot of interesting Thailand stuff for us to check out. We're gonna have to eat some food. We're gonna have to see some mango sticky rice. We're gonna have to see some beautiful places. We're excited.
There's gonna be a lot of fun stuff to check out there, and we've actually been doing a lot of like T-pop stuff. If you guys know our first channel, we do a lot of music reactions. So we've done a lot of T-pop, a lot of milli recently, some For Eve stuff. So you might not check that out too if you like that.
Link is down in the description below for both channels. Geography Now, Thailand. Let's do this. Here we go.
So I don't even really have to give much of an introduction. You've all heard of Thailand. This
I have
country
not.
is the 21st century tourism powerhouse that took the world by storm. Will I do my best for this entire video? Yes, I am. So if you're feeling
starting with
crabby,
the wordplay.
don't forget what time it is.
Oh, nice.
Born.
It's time to learn geography.
Now!
Due to
Hippo.
continuity issues, we have to film this out of sequence.
Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbs. Get your geography now.
We have to too, because of computer.
Thailand, the land of smiles, and it is also the home of Julie, our next co-host.
Julie.
Say hi, Julie. How you doing?
Ayutthaya,
Oh, also
yeah,
we got
she is.
Anya and Solom. They're also going to be in this
That's what
episode.
her name is.
Later on in the
Never
episode, you'll
tired
see
to
them.
talk.
Anything you want to say to the subscribers about Thailand?
You should visit.
We are!
We're not Taiwan.
Don't get it confused. No.
No,
But that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Let's
It's like Slovakia and Slovenia.
Shall
Or
we?
people mix up Sweden and Switzerland a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. If it's the same few letters to start.
And in the same region, it's gonna happen.
They are the crossroads of the Sinosphere and Indosphere and the Malay world, and they have the inland mountains and the coastal waters.
And there's so much going on.
First of all,
The country is located in Southeast Asia on what is commonly referred to as the Indo-Chinese Peninsula, bordering 4 other countries, and is shaped like Dumbo the flying elephant.
Oh,
with a
yeah.
trunk. In that long disfigured trunk, they have a long bicoastal access section on the Kra Isthmus, shared with Myanmar, that straddles the Andaman Sea to the west and the Gulf of Thailand to the east. This trunk squeezes at its narrowest point near the city of Ratchapkirikan at only about 7 miles.
We
or
could
11
walk
kilometers.
that.
Should we do a challenge where we walk in a straight line across Thailand
Geo Wizard style.
and not step on any poisonous snakes?
True. That part where it gets a bit dark green there, the jungly part.
Oh yeah.
Wide. That's not even the narrowest section, though. At the very end of the border with Cambodia at the Trat province, they have a section that is only 450 meters wide.
Oh, we could do that.
Yeah, we got that
And
one.
speaking of provinces, the country is made up of 76 of them, known as Changwat. Keep in mind, all the provinces
crazy.
are also named after their capitals or namesake cities, so you don't have to memorize anything extra. Also, each province has its own flag. They look pretty cool, usually based on Buddhist undertones. In addition, there are
They
2
look pretty
special
cool.
districts, which are cities that act with the same administrative level as a province. the capital Bangkok, and Pattaya. The capital and largest city of the country, of course, is Bangkok, classified as one of the world's mega cities with a larger metropolitan population at around 14 million as of 2022. Here, of course, you can find the two busiest airports, Bangkok's
and based on The Hangover 2, if you go there, you will do a bunch of drugs.
End up with a face tattoo.
And then you will get chased down by a wanted criminal while you're working with a wanted criminal that you may have killed, so you put him in a freezer.
And then you also have a monkey and he gets shot.
Yeah, and rip that monkey.
Saddest scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, he's like, don't remind me.
Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi International Airport.
Obviously, we're going to base our interpretations on Thailand off of Hangover 2.
Of course.
Bangkok also has their own port on the Chao Phraya River that meanders through the city. However, the biggest and busiest shipping port is at Lem Chabang at the Bay of Thailand. From there, if we don't include all the cities that could be classified as connecting to the larger Bangkok Metropolitan Bay region, like Nonthaburi, Chonburi, or Prakret, the second largest cities would be Hat Yai in the south, close to Malaysia, and Nakhon Ratchasima, just a bit up northeast from Bangkok. Nonetheless, due to the heavy demand for tourism, the second and third largest and busiest airports would be Phuket International on the west side and Chiang Mai in the north. Speaking of which, the country has about 1,430 islands, and Phuket being the largest one, conveniently attached by a bridge to the mainland. The country has 4 main domestic rail lines that reach every corner of the country, connecting to all their neighbors except Myanmar. There used to be a line now known as the Death Railway, but it was discontinued after World War II. Today they are working on rebuilding it. Finally, Thailand has 2 international land disputes, one with Cambodia over the hill of Phnom Trap with the Preah Vihar Temple, and the other with Malaysia here on these incredibly small rocks in the middle of the sea known as Kokra and Losin Island. Losin has a small lighthouse, and that's about
those dang
it's
rocks.
not a dispute, but Thailand also has this weird salient called the Three Pagodas Pass that juts into the Burmese town of Payatonzu along the border. This is one of the only few places where tourists are allowed to get a 1-day visa to enter into Myanmar from Thailand if they wish.
That's interesting.
Keep in mind, oftentimes Thai people also divide their country into 4 to 6 cultural regions.
What are these cultural regions, Julie?
They are the northern Thailand, Lana, and the northern eastern Thailand, Isan, central Thailand, Siam, and southern Thailand,
Tambra Linga?
Yeah.
Wow, you never used that word.
No.
Wow. So how do you say southern Thailand in Thai?
Pak Thai. It's like literally
Pad
south.
Thai.
Yeah.
Correct me if anything is wrong. Please.
Okay.
Now, also in regards to Bangkok, Thais actually do not call it Bangkok.
What?
All right. So, how do you say Bangkok
Bang?
in Thai?
Okay, so กรุงเทพมหานครอมรรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทราอยุธยามหาดิลกพบนพรัตน์ราชธานีบุรีรมย์อุดมราชนิเวศมหาสถานอมรพิมานอวตารสถิตสักกะทัตถิยะวิษณุกรรมประสิทธิ์
Literally the longest name of any city in the world with spacing. Now,
Interesting.
Go ahead.
I'm not even going to try. It's just going to sound bad.
Bangkok.
Bangkok was listed as the world's most visited city with over 22 million tourists, meaning that for the first time in the 21st century, they dethroned Paris.
What?
From there.
We have 24 hours of food, and we have night market. We
Night
have an early
market.
morning market, and we have great temples.
Okay, enough about Bangkok though. Another thing you have to understand is that Thailand is administratively a constitutional monarchy. Who is the king, Julie?
King Maha Rajalankon, or Rama X of Chakri dynasty, taking the throne after his father died in 2016.
He is believed to be one of the richest monarchs in the world, and since 2020 has pretty much spent most of his time living in Bavaria, Germany after the pandemic.
Oh.
As a constitutional monarchy, all government affairs are handled by the National Assembly and Prime Minister since 1932.
Nonetheless, even though the king's role is restricted by constitutional law, he still holds a huge level of power and influence, mostly thanks to the Thailand
Lèse-majesté laws.
Yes.
This means that people who criticize the king, his family, and even their pets can face heavy charges if it's strong or not.
No comment.
No comment. Moving on.
Much of what is now in Thailand started to develop about 1,000 years ago when this person, Pa Kun Singh Intalatip, crowned himself the first king during the Sukhothai era in 1238.
Later, the Ayutthaya kingdom formed and eventually unified them in 1448 under King, how do you say that? Rameswaran?
Lamasuan.
Lameswaran?
The northern areas known as Lana had their own things going on, divided into 5 kingdoms.
Long story short, they had a bunch of wars with Burma, what is now Myanmar. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to come in. They called it Siam.
Over time, their global interaction developed more than yet they never became colonized. We've never been colonized. Woo! Well, there was what Japan got really close to war in World War II, but it was like...
All right, I'm taking over you. You're going to be part of my empire.
Considering who's surrounding us, that might not be a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but you have to give me free passage and join us against the Allied powers.
Okay, fine, sure, whatever.
Do it.
I officially declare war on the U.S. and Britain.
Oh,
I am not delivering this news to them. Hey, Alex, I totally didn't mean to declare war on you guys. It was just a joke to make it look like we weren't against Japan.
Wait, you declared war on me? Oh, I wasn't even paying attention, but okay, sure.
Woo! Saved my idea.
wow.
You guys remember Aaron? He was in the Sylvan Talk episode.
And yeah, they got by.
Yeah, never colonized, even with Japan.
Well, in any case, with 6 UNESCO heritage sites, over 40,000 temples, Thailand is never short of notable places to see.
And with that, Som, why don't you take this, the notable places of Thailand. Som, you got this. We're out.
Okay, so my most favorite place in Thailand, PP, that's like on the south of Thailand.
Funny. I don't think it's funny anymore. You kind of scared me. No. Ducky, you're a fragging PP.
That's so rude.
I'm sorry. I was just getting back at you for poking me in the eye earlier.
Rip for Ducky in the chat, everybody. PP Island, we need to go there officially just so we can say we went to PP.
And so Ducky can laugh.
Such a cool place. Just learning about like how things run is really cool because I just kind of do it for the spots.
Yeah.
Just the spots. And The Hangover 2, of course.
Of course.
Very beautiful island.
And Lisa, of course.
Chiang Mai, definitely visit. It has a lot of culture. Chiang Rai, that's like a place that you can actually visit, like a lot of elephant. They have like an elephant, what is that called? Like sanctuary. You can also like see tribe people at in a mountain in the north. Ayutthaya was capital city of Thailand like 100 years ago before they moved to Bangkok. Old temple, building, old palace. On the west is the city called Kanchanaburi that has a lot of beautiful waterfalls. In the central of Thailand is called Lopburi. That's
Monkey!
Like a lot of beautiful waterfall. In the central of Thailand is called Lopburi.
It's just like slurping on some... Is that like an icy?
I don't know. I don't know if he's supposed to have that.
It looks like he's making something. He's a mad scientist monkey.
We're in India and we haven't seen any monkeys yet. We're sad.
Monkeys. We've only seen cats, dogs, and goats.
And very large birds.
Yeah. We don't even know what kind of birds they are. They're just all brown and they're just like...
But it's so cool because we are in India. We like seeing the like temples is so different for us because this is our first time getting into Asia. We're used to just churches, which obviously are magnificent as well, but it's always been churches, and then some mosques once we started getting into Dubai, UAE, and then now it's Hindu. The temples, and then we're gonna get over into different temples.
We're gonna go from Hinduville to Buddhaville to other placeville, and then like if we go like from the Philippines, it'll be churches, and then Thailand temple. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Of Thailand is called Lopburi. That's like a city that's monkey everywhere. It's pretty interesting. People not
those
gonna
ones
rob
that are
you.
like...
It's gonna be monkey that try to steal stuff from you.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But you gotta be careful if you go to that city. My favorite place that I always go is called
punch a monkey in the face
and then there's a lot of street food there on that street. You just visit. Khao San Road. And then there's a lot of street food there on that street. You just visit.
Thank you, Som. Well, we are just getting started because part of the reason Thailand is so colorful is because naturally it just is that way.
That means we move on to the next segment.
So thanks to its location in the tropics, Thailand is no stranger to extreme nature conditions.
You'll definitely see the side of Thailand if visiting?
Thailand is located at the convergence of three major tectonic plates, the Australian, Indian, and Eurasian
Oh,
plates,
that's always
with
fun.
numerous fault lines cracking mostly throughout the west and northern parts of the country. These fault zones are essentially what create the shield of mountain ranges, like the Dangrek, Phetchabun, the Dona, and the Thai Highlands, where you can also find the highest peak of the country, Doi Intanon.
Oh, wow,
In
that's
between these
climate.
mountains, you have
Pretty
two
tall.
incredibly lush and fertile flat areas, the central plain, known as the Chao Phraya River Valley, and to the east, Korat Plateau, where you can find the longest river fully within Thailand, the Chi River. Otherwise, Thailand
Chi.
shares the mighty Mekong River on the border with Laos. The largest natural lake in Thailand is way down south, Songkhla Lake, which is divided into three parts, and it does have an opening to the Bay of Thailand at the bottom part by the town of Songkhla, which is why the lake has partly salty, brackish water. Otherwise, up in the mountains in the west, the Sinakarin Dam is the largest reservoir in the country at over 17 billion cubic meters of water. Finally, the
a lot
country
of
is split
cubic
up
meters.
into two separate climate zones. The upper part of the nation mostly lies in the tropical savanna or tropical monsoon zone, whereas the Kra Isthmus falls in the tropical rainforest zone. The country has three
cloud
main
forest,
seasons
I wanna
throughout the
go.
year: the cool, dry season between November and February, the hot season from March to May, and the monsoon season from June to October. During
Oh,
this time,
great.
the country is prone to the occasional typhoon on
Yeah.
the east coast or cyclone to the west. Quick terminology recap: cyclones are for the southern hemisphere and Indian Ocean, whereas typhoon is for East Asian Pacific. Typhoons.
Typhoon. Typhoon! Well, I just know that.
You got very
there's
excited.
and a lot of mosquitoes. I have
Mosquitoes?
A really bad allergic.
Oh, great.
I get bit by mosquitoes a lot.
He has some blood condition apparently where they just like I'll just be walking, I haven't seen a single mosquito, and he'll be like, and dying.
I've barely seen any mosquitoes here, and I have a fracking. I don't even know if it's mosquito bite, but there's one here. Skeeters.
Skeets.
I have a really bad allergic.
Gonna need some bug
When
spray.
you go back to Thailand, it's like
It's like
allergic
a do or
reaction
die.
every day. But it's the motherland.
I know. Well, in any case, Thailand is classified as newly industrialized country, making the 8th largest economy in Asia. Second, Southeast Asia after Indonesia. When it comes to business, Thailand is a hustler and we're good at it.
Walking down the alleyways in Bangkok, you will find almost any type of vendor or profession, whether legitimate or questionable.
We always have legitimate
Marriage for
industry.
aliens.
What are you talking about?
People always go towards the wacky side, though. It's like,
Yeah,
there's
that's a
real stuff, too.
stereotype. For one, since the 80s, Thailand has designated 25% of land area of forest protection and 15%
Good.
of timber production. In addition, they are huge on the electronic sector, making up almost a fifth of all exports.
Now here's where things start to kind of get into the gray
Also, fun
zone-ish
fact,
area.
I
For
missed
Thailand,
it. Thailand has its own domestic car brand, Tyrone.
Oh.
Exports.
Didn't know that.
Here's where things start to kind of get into the gray zone-ish area. For Thailand, much of the economic activity and numbers are hard to accurately calculate because there is an entire informal sector with underground market activity.
This is sometimes called a shadow economy. This could be anything from unreported or misreported.
We shadow out as we grab the new battery. The shadow economy. The shadow. Oh, shadow. Oh, I'm a shadow. Shadow economy. Shadow boy. New battery. I'm a shadow. A shadow of the night. I'm a shadow. The shadow economy. I'm a shadow. Such shadowy boy. Ignore me. Oh, such a shadowy boy. I'm a shadow. Oh, you're a shadow. Oh, I'm a shadow. No, you're a dog. That's right. I'm a shadow. Will anybody actually find this as funny as we find it?
I don't know. To us, it's super fucking funny. He looks so funny. Duck is like our big meme, though.
He has a personality that you guys will never know. We're back from the shadow realm. So,
It was a crazy place. I don't even know what happened, to be honest.
Me neither. Me neither. It was crazy. Let's do it.
Black market dealings.
Thailand lies, everybody knows this, within the Golden Triangle. We already talked about this in previous episodes.
Illuminati?
Overlapping 3 countries in Southeast Asia, which are widely known as the second largest opium producing area on Earth after the Golden Crescent in the Middle East. Nonetheless, the government has been cracking down on these types of dealings and has been putting a heavier emphasis on a more positive sectors like
Tourism, the most obvious one.
Thailand tourism industry makes up nearly a fifth of GDP today and is projecting to grow to 30% by 2030.
Instagram once ranked Thailand as one of the top ranked photograph locations on Earth.
Thailand offers many different types
all
of
those Instagram girls that
Of course.
butt first.
Got it. It's a beach destination sometime for them.
Yeah. Just, it's the butt first, and then it's the background. Instagram.
medical, gastronomical, sport, and even nature tourism.
And speaking of nature, here's Gary Harlow to explain. Yeah, Caleb's not here, but you know, the hat turns anybody into Gary Harlow. So what's going on, man? Ian, it's your turn.
Oh, man! Oh, whoa! So, thanks to their tropical climate, Thailand is definitely brimming with creatures of all sorts.
Good job.
There are 156 national parks,
That's a
58
lot.
wildlife sanctuaries.
That's a lot.
So we have to go to every national park in the world.
We're chunking off the U.S. at the moment. How many in total are there? There's not 158.
There's like 60.
So we haven't even finished the U.S. yet, but Thailand, 158.
We got it. We got this. We're going to be in Thailand for a while.
9 hunting areas and 120 forest parks. Now, this makes up a third of the entire country's territory. Now, there's over 280 mammal species. Everything from leopards to Malaysian sun bears, gibbons, macaques, the Indo-Chinese subspecies of tigers, or tigers.
We're gonna die from a tiger.
And speaking of felines, the Siamese cat actually originated here. I always thought it was Chinese, but no, it's here, Thailand. Now here you can also find the smallest mammal on Earth, called the Canis hognose bat, or the bumblebee bat. Now Thailand claims to have the world's first and largest crocodile farm. Now finally, we cannot forget the national animal, the Thai elephant.
It looks like they do the tiger shows. Like in Florida, there's tons of alligators. And they do alligator shows where like the guy sticks his head in the alligator and then, yeah, that probably goes well all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. It takes one instance for that place to be shut down.
The alligator's just like, I'm hungry today. Dead.
There's about 3,500 elephants that are in captivity and about 1,000 estimated elephants in the wild.
You have to find a wild elephant.
Widely revered in Thailand and have played an important role in the country's history, and especially to the royal family, where the white elephant is their symbol. And the king specifically keeps a small number of white Thai elephants alive. They're presented at special events.
Allergic to elephants?
Yes. Thai people and elephants, they like it. You know what I mean. Now it looks like I'm gonna have to phase my way out of here. So I'm just gonna, hey, what is happening to me?
Thank you, Gary.
Yes, Thailand's land is never short of provision. At one time, they were even the #1 provider of rice in the world. And today, their
we eat
cow
rice
family
sometimes.
has been declared the world's best rice 7 times out of 13 World Rice Conferences.
The world's best rice? Okay, in the comments, please put what type of rice, or if it's just all rice.
Yeah.
We need to get, because I want to see what the difference is between bad rice and good rice.
I didn't know the World Rice Conference was a thing. That's amazing.
I didn't either.
It's heavy on gastro-diplomacy, which the government initiated in the Global Thai Program launched in 2002. Basically, it's a culinary diplomacy initiative that they fund in order to promote Thailand via food across the world.
This is why you can find Thai restaurants in some of the most remote places on Earth.
Even like the Arctic, Svalbard, Norway has a Thai restaurant.
Interesting.
To talk more about food, why don't we bring up
First time we tried Thai food was in Oregon.
So,
yeah, in a small town.
Sorry, I like Looney Tunes, so that's my commentary. Just don't sue me, okay?
Just don't sue me.
Winter culture is so huge in Thailand. We never sleep on the street, off the street, in a small alley. I think most people going out instead of cooking in. Like every region, they have their own food culture. Yeah. Like in the north part of Thailand, khao soi. Khao soi is like a kind of noodle, curry noodle. On top of the noodle, they're gonna have the crispy noodle on top of that noodle again. And when you eat it, you mix it all together with the pickle and red onion.
Noodle on noodle.
Noodle on noodle. The sauce, I would say, the most spicy Thai food. They have like gang thai pra, kua king, which is
I see a lot of chilies in that.
We have to eat all of it.
Central.
We do a challenge where we just get a massive bucket of it and we go.
Matt Stoney it.
Yep.
Most normal thing that people know is green curry or red curry. Khao man gai, pad see ew, pad thai, tom
Thai, that's the only
yum.
one
The
I
most
have.
popular ones you find at Thai restaurants
Yeah,
are central.
like normal stuff. The northeast, my region, they have like a million kind of papaya salad. The taste is gonna be like sweet and it come with peanut. Or you can have Isan or Lao styles, which is that come with like fermented anchovy fish sauce, which is we call it tam pru pala, or like fermented crab, fermented fish sauce. Another dish is like log, and they usually have it with sticky rice. The main dessert for me
Mango sticky rice.
is mango sticky rice.
Guys, I have a confession to make. We were at the Global Village in Dubai, which is like a big event where they have food from all over the place. And I was next to a stall, and one of the vendors started talking to me. She was probably like, I don't know, she said she was from South Thailand. And she was like, and I was getting this stall, French toast stall, which was like really delicious French toast. Here's a picture, it's very delicious. But she was like, oh, we have mango sticky rice, it's really good. And I was like, oh, we just had nasi goreng, so I'm so full. And she's like, oh, okay, maybe you come back later. And I was like, oh yeah, well, maybe I'll come back. And I was going to come back, and then I just didn't do it. I should have got it. Apparently it's amazing.
Yeah, we ended up getting a ton of food, and that definitely should have been one of them. We did it right before Millie's. We would have had it right before Millie's Coachella performance, where she ate that mango sticky rice.
I made a huge mistake. I knew that was like the first thing she would say when people walked by. She was like, mango sticky rice, cheesecake. And I was like, oh, that sounds good. And yeah, so dang nabbit.
I want it so bad right now.
It was funny when I said I just had nasi goreng, and she was like, yeah, because she knew that stuff fills you up instantly.
I have my favorite spot, Mewari. I think at
Write it down, write that down.
Law, which is the best mango sticky rice in town.
Looks like a lot more mango
Thank you,
than
Anya.
rice.
Two other things we should also mention. Thailand is one of the largest entomophagous countries on earth. That is, nations that have a high rate of insect consuming.
And you can find that in the street stalls pretty much everywhere on Khao Road. And it's like a various snack that you can just enjoy.
More
Also,
protein
Red
than
Bull was
beef.
invented in Thailand.
It's all shell.
And it is stronger out there, isn't it?
Way stronger.
There was
We have to
actually a
try it.
report
I've never
from
had normal
CNN
Red
International
Bull.
that stated Thai people consume more energy drinks than any other country in the world, averaging at
Interesting.
about 11.4 liters per person.
Why is that?
4
Wow.
times more than us Americans.
Well,
It's because Red Bull is from there.
Yeah. Wow.
I've never had Red Bull from the US, so I don't even know what to compare it to if it's stronger.
I don't think I have either. Interesting.
Dang it.
Wow, yeah, and US is like, they're like to get up and go, like non-stop, fast food, everything, non-stop, keep going. But Thailand, the energy drinks, keep them going. I mean, they gotta stay up all night, they never sleeps.
If it's stronger, 4 times stronger,
you have a lot of energies.
Speaking of the energy of the people, that brings us to the next segment,
we saw a Thai performance at the Dubai Expo.
You gotta check that out on
Anya,
our
Song
blog.
Julie,
Yeah.
answer the question, what
It won't
is
be
a
up
Thai
yet, but
person?
soon.
Go.
Thai person is like kind.
We smile a lot. That's why we call it.
Lisa smiles a lot.
She does, a lot.
Yeah, we are.
I think we are an empath. We're an empath.
We could be crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
One thing that's for sure, Thais are very proud of being Thai.
Every day at 8 p.m. and 6 p.m., the national anthem is played on loudspeakers.
Everybody just stops.
And people would just stop for 40 seconds and stand there until it's over.
Anyway, the
Surprised
makeup
it
of
doesn't
Thailand
happen
is
in,
very
like,
interesting too, and here's how
down
it kind
south
of
in
breaks down.
Alabama.
For one,
Yeah.
Thailand has about 70 million people, and the government officially recognizes 62 ethnic communities naturally found within the country. The largest group of peoples, of course, are the ethnic Thai people at somewhere around 86% of the population.
So
However,
what?
it's a little more complicated. The Thais are kind of broken up into specific groups, the largest ones being the Korat Thai, or the Central Thai people, that are spread throughout most of the central parts of the country. They make up about 39% of the population. From there, the next largest group would be the Isan, or Thai Lao, mostly found near the border of Laos. They make up about 28% of the population. From there, you have the Khon Wang at about 10%, and Southern Thai at about 9%. The largest non-Thai groups, though, would be Malays, mostly in the border with Malaysia, at about 4%. Cambodian or Khmer peoples, mostly in the border with Cambodia, make up
Makes
about
sense.
2%. And about 8% of the country belongs to other groups, a huge chunk of this being Chinese.
Thailand currency is baht.
Baht.
They use the
Baht.
types of ANC plug outlets, and the drive is
Well,
on
we
the
have
left
both
side
of those
the
at
road.
least.
Yeah, they simply just did it because most of their neighbors were doing it, and they just wanted to join along, not because of British influence. Never colonized.
Never.
Now, here's where things get a little confusing. Thailand actually has the largest Chinese community outside of Thailand at somewhere around 10 million, or about a seventh of the population. However, this group of Chinese people, or Sino-Thai people, are actually fully assimilated into Thai society and often just call themselves Thai.
They are mostly from southern China called Teochew in the Guangdong province.
After years of intermingling, geneticists speculate that somewhere around 40% of the population of Thailand could have at least one Chinese ancestor. Today, most of them have actually adopted Thai last names, or at least use Chinese last names and add Thai words to the end due to a law that states that people are not allowed to have the same last name if they are not related.
Well, in any case, the Thai language is completely different from Chinese. It's actually part of the Thai language group, which is related to Shan language in Myanmar and Laos in Laos.
How much Lao can you guys understand?
Interesting. We just watched a video where there was a Cambodian and a Thai artist, and we noticed that the Cambodian sounded so much different than the Thai. And a lot of these countries, the language sounds a little bit similar in Southeast Asia. Look at Cambodia, it's not in that thing.
Yeah, this is the Thai one, so I don't know if Cambodia for sure. You said that it sounded much more like Chinese.
Yeah.
At least to us, so, and I wonder if that would be grouped in with more of Chinese.
That's interesting.
Myanmar and Laos in Laos.
How much Lao can you guys understand?
60%?
60, 70%? Would you say Lao people can understand Thai better?
Of course, because they consume our entertainment and stuff.
So the Thai alphabet, or abugida, is made up of 44 consonant symbols and 16 vowel indicators.
Every Thai person knows the 44 pictures that go with the 44 consonants of the Thai script, from G, chicken, to H, owl.
Otherwise, Thai is a tonal language, spoken with 5 tones, meaning you can make an entire sentence using just one syllable, but changing the tone. For example,
oh, I'm not doing that.
So that is like ไม่ไหม้ไม่ไหม้ new silk doesn't burn. I love this one. ป่าป่าป่าป่าป่า
All right.
ส้มหิวข้าว
That
แล้วนะ
sounded like she did the same thing for
Ba, ba,
each
ba, ba,
ba.
ba.
She's going ba ba, yeah.
Ba 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 ba. Did I do it?
I love this one. ป่าป่าป่าป่าป่า
Ba 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 ba.
Good luck. We'll never learn Thai.
No.
Never.
All right.
ส้มหิวข้าวแล้วนะ ขับไปเลยไม่ต้องไปส่งที่บ้านนี่ขับตามกันไปเลยเนี่ย
I'm gonna add subtitles.
Now, officially, Thailand has freedom of religion. However, the vast majority are Buddhist at
95.
about
Whoa.
95% of the population.
This makes Thailand the country with the second highest Buddhist population in the world after China, even though China is only about 20% Buddhist. It's interesting though, Thai Buddhism has a lot of traditional Thai folklore and Hindu overlap within it. Within temples and shrines, you might see many Hindu or folk deities depicted, like Brahma.
What is the spirit house? You put it there and then do some kind of ritual, ceremony to bless in that house.
For a blessing.
Yeah, for a blessing, so that spiritual figure will protect your home from harm.
And you find them everywhere in Thailand. And they usually give them offerings like flowers, incense, fruits, and for some reason, a lot of them have like strawberry Fanta. That's like a thing I see everywhere.
Because of the color.
The color
Yeah.
red, right? Thailand also has a heavy culture of short-term Buddhist
What happens
ordination
if you
in which
drink
many
it?
men are encouraged to serve as monks for a period of time. Monks are not allowed to touch women unless if it's like an emergency, like if their mom is dying or something. Now, going to Thailand, you will notice how much the royal family is integrated into daily life.
Every neighborhood has a shop and sell approved images of them, and they're always on the wall.
We won't get too much into it because it'll take way too long to explain. It's a hot button issue amongst the people, but essentially, Thailand has had many controversial monarchy-related incidences within their history. We're not going to get much more into this. If you want to say stuff, write it in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to just move on.
All right, should we go right in the comments?
Comment.
I don't know anything about
What better way
Thai
to know
monarchs.
Sports.
Sports, yes. And with that, here's Art with the sports part.
We reacted to
It's
a
geography
sports
sports
game, or a
time.
soccer game with
He's
the
so
Thai
light.
team.
All right, so let's start off with the Asian Games. Bangkok has hosted them more than any other country in Southeast Asia. Moreover, Thailand has hosted more SEA games as well. Thailand also ranks high in badminton competitions.
That guy's going fracking hard.
I could not be that
I
flexible.
want to play badminton. That sounds fun.
Yeah. There's a shuttlecock in the.
Yeah, and there's a racket over there.
We can play some racket.
When we come to Bangkok, who's 1v1ing me? Bring it, bruh.
You can't beat this.
You can't.
Actually, one of my favorite sports. I like badminton a lot. Did you know that? No. When I was in high school, I used to play a lot. For some reason, I always liked hitting that little birdie. Punish that little thing, you know what I mean?
His biceps are so large.
Thailand usually ranks number 1
Doesn't
in
seem like a
Southeast
badminton player.
Asia.
No.
Football, soccer. These two guys here are probably the most famous footballers in
Is that how we avoid people getting mad at us for calling it soccer? We just say it very weird. Soccer. Soccer. They're playing some soccer. Oh, dude, yesterday we were playing some soccer.
Come on. Aussies, New Zealand, South Korea, they all say soccer too. Yeah. Come on.
Thailand. You guys are cool with us saying soccer, right? Soccer.
Soccer.
Alexander Albon is actually the only F1 racer known in Thailand. Thailand in total has 35 medals in the Olympics, and 10 of those are actually gold. I don't know why I just did 5. 5 times 2. 2 5s. 10. The 3 events that Thailand has done well in the Olympics: weightlifting, boxing, and taekwondo. And speaking of combat sports, the moment.
There's so many Thai fun.
Best sport ever from Thailand, Muay Thai, known as the art of 8 limbs. You can hit with your fists, your shins, your elbows, and your knees. And then pow, the match begins. But do not touch people on the top of the head. It's a big no-no in Thai culture.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of fighting, let's talk about Krabi Krabon. This is a traditional Thai weapon martial art form. The bodyguards of the royal family must be highly trained in this martial art form as well. Competitions.
His biceps are too massive. The camera doesn't know what to focus on.
No, it's hyperventilating.
And performances are really cool to watch. And finally, Thailand used to take part in this unique elephant polo competition known as the King's Cup. In 2018, though, it was announced that the competition would be discontinued after complaints filed by PETA. No more elephant polo. Well, they definitely complained about the elephants, but not the horses.
Wow.
What's up with that, PETA? Tartan segment in Geography Now is never
double standard much.
That's it for me.
I like pita bread though.
Thank you,
I didn't know they could make such good bread.
We're very
They make really good bread.
On any given day, there will probably be some kind of beauty pageants going on with different types of people, and there's a lot of expectations.
So much to talk about with Thailand's culture. So with that, here's Random Hannah to give you just a few more general overview factoids of Thai culture.
Hi guys, it's good to be back. And remember, you can get a Random Hannah shirt at geographynow.com.
Who's wearing it?
First thing, in Thailand, if you are on the phone receiving Thai text, you might see the number 5 a lot. Because in Thai, the number 5 is pronounced ha. So they're really just laughing. Ha ha ha. Every Thai at birth is given a nickname in addition to the
so
regular
interesting.
name. It's based
we react to international music, so we get all of the different types of laughing. So on Thai songs, or Thai music, we might see fa, and then when we do Latin songs, it's ja 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 ja.
Well, it's not actually ja 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 ja. That's how an American would say it. But yeah,
that makes me think of Fajita. Long story.
Based on an old superstition that evil spirits, or BSAT, these evil spirits are apparently constantly on the lookout for newborn children, and these nicknames apparently confuse them. Common nicknames include things like tadpole, fat, mouse, swan, and
all the babies.
At special occasions, you will often
like we were learning about Philippines, the mana eats out of the womb and stuff like that.
They don't like babies.
That's scary. But if I was in the womb and I got eaten, that'd suck.
You probably wouldn't know, so at least, unless you're conscious in the womb and suddenly you see this creature crawling, you're like,
that's the only sound I made back then.
You try to choke it out with your umbilical cord.
And then the umbilical cord tears and up.
And then you would be birthed. And you'd come out and be the mana would come out with you.
And then the doctor would execute me because I'm making weird noises.
Demon baby.
With an axe.
An axe? Oh, jeebers.
See people wearing traditional clothing. For women, a common thing you can see is the sing. It's an ankle-length silk tube skirt. And for men, you can find a chong kraven, which is a lower body.
That guy was wearing it at the thing.
Yeah, there are so many quirks and customs in Thailand. Everywhere you'll find a nang kwak. It's the beckoning lady statue that is said to bring business and love. She always uses. The number 9 is considered lucky. Amulet culture and lucky charms are huge here. Taxi
taxis and bus drivers have altars on their dashes. Potted plant culture, or Maidut, is a huge thing here as well. It dates back to the Ayutthaya period, in which people needed to keep plants and crops portable in case floods washed them away. Thai people are obsessed with aromatherapy. They're most popular in the form of herbal balms or nasal sprays. This right here is called a yadong. Thank you, geography.
Yadong.
Yadong. Oh, yeah. And it
Lisa
sounds like
moment.
Condom, right?
Or porn, I think.
Ah, yes.
And they're like, and she's like,
The Lisa laugh, obviously.
Yeah.
This on Fan Flag Friday. You will see people with these shoved up their noses everywhere in Thailand. Did you shove this in your nose and then give it to me?
Not that one. I took the green one.
Thais are also really into
We would have gotten there and would have been
I'm
like, what the
Aquarius.
heck are they?
I don't know what that means.
Now we know.
This season ties into every
It's a
day
summary of our
the
travel
week.
experiences.
Each day-
Something happens, we're like, what the heck?
Why are they doing this? Why is everybody doing? Why is everybody staring at us?
We know nothing
week
when
is
we
the
travel.
color
We just kind of go
code pertaining to
places,
each
do
astrology
some basic
So you
research.
might find
We
people
react
wearing more of a
to
certain
the
color
places.
on a
Makes our
certain
travel
day.
less good.
In addition, there are a series of taboos and traditions that follow each day. For example, on Wednesday, you're not allowed to cut things, so often barbershops are closed on Wednesday. And finally, Thailand has so many festivals and events they celebrate. It would take forever to list them all, but here are a few of the biggest ones. The Magic Tattoo Festival, Festival of Lights, the Monkey Buffet Festival. I want to go to that one. Buddhist festivals like Buddha's birthday, and Maga Puja. The largest and most popular one, though, is the Songkran Festival. It is celebrated throughout all of
That looks
Southeast
epic.
Asia. People shoot water guns and splash each other with water, and everyone gets soaked. I know who I would shoot
We
a
missed
water
it.
gun at. My husband, because he is hot. Anyways, whatever. Here's Keith's music segment. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Random Hannah.
What's up, everybody? Keith
The black
here.
void
I'm
is
back
gone.
in the wonderful state of Florida, just because, well, Florida's just a million times better than California. But anyways,
I would have
Thailand knows
that
music,
from-
and it seems everything in life includes
Florida!
Even before Muay Thai matches, they play music as fighters do their ritual dances. Thais will probably say the two largest traditional styles are Luk Tung and Mor Lam. Luk Tung is a country folk style with lyrics that reflect the trials and tribulations of rural life. Every Thai person will say these people are probably the most iconic folk artists. Otherwise, Mor Lam is mostly performed in the northeast part of the country, close to Laos. It is described as being folk but faster with a funk feel. A funky feel, if you will. Usually
is
folk
F-Hero
music is
considered?
accompanied by traditional instruments
He
such
says
as
old
these.
thing 'cause
I'm going
he's
to point to this
F-Hero.
list right here. Thailand dance is also pretty crazy to watch, especially Khon. It is Thailand's traditional mask dance done with golden costumes. It's pretty dope because who
That
doesn't
is
love
cool.
That is pretty dope.
Lalisa!
In fact, most
yeah.
Thai people are capable
That
of
beat.
doing complex double-jointed dance gestures. I don't know, does this mean I'm double jointed? Otherwise, since the 90s, Thai pop or
T-pop.
T-pop has been
Lalisa!
ever growing in the music industry.
Amazing.
Some top performers you suggested include this list right here.
Lisa.
And before I go, one band in particular that I must mention because, well, I'm Keith and I love metal bands, and we all know
Potato?
this at this point. There's a band from
Dang.
Thailand which is called Retrospect, and they have a song called Betrayed. Really great song, really great band. The Sumerian core era of like bands like Born of Osiris, and those influences spread throughout the world. But anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much all to the Thai subscribers. You guys are really great, and that's it for me.
Thank you, Keith.
Well, that was a lot.
A lot. What are your favorite festivals of Thailand?
Well, it's in Got Phangan, yeah? It's kind of like the Burning Man kind of party, or
Oh, that's
even
what
Got Phangan.
Lisa,
It's
she
kind of
used
like
that type
the
of sign for her money dance
Burning Man
bracket.
kind of party.
Some-
or
everything just
even
goes back to
Coachella,
Lisa.
Or like if you love music, you would definitely go to the full moon party in Got
Okay.
Phangan.
Well, one thing that Thailand is definitely known for is the way how they interact with the rest of the world. Which brings us to the final chapter of this episode, So, due to their location and culture, Thailand has quite a history of branching out both to their neighbors and abroad.
One thing's for sure, Thailand has definitely made themselves known throughout the world. Here's how kind of plays out.
For one, Thailand is of course a huge international tourism hotspot, so of course everyone from Australia to Austrians love visiting, especially during peak season during December and February when the weather is the best. Nonetheless, no shocker, China alone outnumbers all of them combined, taking up over a quarter of the entire tourist demographic. Jeez. Obviously, as mentioned, Thailand has the largest Chinese population in diaspora outside of China, let alone having much of their people historically intermarry and mix with Thai people. The only hiccup in relations with China took place in the 50s when this former prime minister instituted lots of anti-Chinese campaigns and restrictions. Also, occasionally China keeps a close eye whenever Taiwan wants to get close to Thailand as well. But today, they are close. They share numerous bilateral agreements like a free trade zone. China is their largest import partner. Their militaries cooperate, and the two are cool with each other. With that, India comes in, and it's more of a historic and cultural bond that dates back thousands of years within the Indosphere. Not only did the Buddhist faith migrate out of northeastern India, some argue Nepal, let's not get into that, but the Thai language also borrows a substantial amount of words from Sanskrit, as well as Pali, the sacred language of Theravada Buddhism. India has very close extradition treaties. They have infrastructure investment deals, especially in the India-Myanmar-Thailand highway project, and they have a growing education exchange program. The US has had relations with Thailand since the 19th century, when the Treaty of Amity and Commerce was signed in 1833, therefore making them the first nation in Asia to have formal diplomatic relations with the US. Yes, even before China. From there, relations have only...
We're friends now, Thai people.
Yeah.
We have a connection.
We represent the American government.
Sure.
That's false, actually. No.
We don't.
We just started hissing at the American government.
Imperialism is bad, America.
Frack you.
Grown. Later, Thailand joined CETO, which led to the Rusk-Tanat Agreement. In 2003, they were labeled a major non-NATO ally. However, the closest inner circle to Thailand though, would have to be their fellow ASEAN nation countries. Granted, they've had quite a few historical wars with the Burmese, but nonetheless, best friends. Malaysia is the second largest tourist demographic, and many have family just over the border in South Thailand. Indonesia is kind of like the mediator between them and any drama they might have on the border with Cambodia. The Philippines shares a lot of similar cultural tropes with Thailand. It's almost like just replace the Buddhist backdrop with a Catholic one, and they are almost indistinguishable. When it comes to their best friend within this group though, nearly every single Thai person I've ever talked to has mentioned the same country, Laos. Laos is like the little sister of Thailand that has a slightly different way of doing things, but overall they totally get each other. It all started back in the 15th century in the Ayutthaya kingdom, and you know, despite being under French Indochina and having some skirmishes on the border with Thailand and claiming that the Emerald Buddha was theirs and later installing a government that kind of favored Vietnam, regardless, they are still considered the closest relatives within the area and have deep ties. They speak nearly intelligible languages, they are both predominantly influenced by Buddhism, and after you peel back all the layers of historical trauma, they cannot deny that in the end, they will always be family and care for each other. In conclusion, you're the Thai people. I'm gonna head out, you guys take it. Ready, set, go.
Long-tail boats, street vendors, lots of good food, a lot of beautiful people,
lots of spicy,
a lot of smiles.
Yeah, spicy.
Well, it's pretty fun to party.
Are the smiles that authentic, or does you just walk by somebody and they go?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go to Thailand if that's how it's gonna
be. That'd be creepy.
We're back. The card build up to finish out the last 30 seconds here.
Heck yeah.
Lots of fortune tellers and paths.
Oh, what is my fortune?
Again.
You will die at 93.
Episode.
Hey, that's not too bad.
Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
Togo is coming up
Togo.
next.
There it is. The geography now of Thailand. A nice long one. We added basically like all of our input.
Yeah.
In the middle there.
We said a lot. This is probably a long video.
There's not a ton to add at the end here. All I gotta say is we're excited to go. This is, it's been a place that even like Americans know in Asia, and there's not a ton of places outside of Japan that Americans, and China I guess, that Americans know in Asia, so it's obviously going to be a hot spot to go to, and we're excited to go there.
Let's go, baby. Hangover 2 taught us so well. Oh, this is important here. This is big deal.
Oh, there's no fracking way you guys will ever be able to read that. But it says made in Thailand right there on this duck that we stole.
Wait. He is the greatest thing to ever exist in the world, and he was made in Thailand.
We stole him from an Airbnb in Georgia. So.
That's how amazing he was. We had to steal him. Yeah. And now look what he can do.
That's amazing.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you go check out our vlog channel. Our Thailand vlogs will be on there. We're in India right now. There'll be India vlogs. Georgia vlogs are being posted right now. Georgia's a really cool country. Dubai's a really cool area. You want to see the vlogs of that. India's super cool. More coming soon. Thailand coming as well. See you then. And subscribe to this channel too. And our main channel, because we react to Lisa and Millie and for even
Tons of stuff for you guys to check out.
Lots of Thai stuff. Bye.
Time to turn on the AC.
It's really hot. I'm sweaty as nuts, dude. My hair has gotten sweatier.
We're shiny, boy.
We're gonna do this the entire time in Thailand too. Bye.